Ally McBeal was started off as a romantic comedy. That's what I started crafting. But then I needed to find and it was going to be an Office franchise show, and that was by network design. When Peter Roth talked about developing a show for Fox, they wanted an Office franchise show that could follow Melrose Place. So I knew I was not going to be, in somebody's kitchen in Wisconsin. It was going to be more of a cosmopolitan urban show and an Office franchise. But I started off looking to do a romantic comedy. I'd never done one before, and was mining those characters. But then I was just looking for an Office franchise backdrop, and was exploring different vocations. Ultimately came back to the law, probably because I was comfortable with it. I still was fascinated by it. But I also, given this show by its conceit, was really going to mine the moral and ethical and romantic inner workings of characters, I thought law would just be a great springboard to do that, because the law is always challenging us, how we feel, how we think. But the law was never intended to be a big part of that show. It was just the backdrop where these cauldron of characters came to interact. I wanted the show to, I was very single lead oriented in its original draft, and I really wanted to focus on the dichotomy of this one character, her inner life and her external life. I remember a short story always being struck. I read The Secret Life of Walter Mitty growing up many times, and how distinct those two worlds were in this one person, and started about crafting this character who lived one life and said some things, but had an inner life that maybe was not always compatible with that. Very, very unscientific process of crafting that pilot, because it really was about a person and about how she felt, what she thought, and how she loved. It did not was not going to be set up on straight, linear or dramatic tent poles. So the architecture of the series was going to be different. Wrote the pilot, shot the pilot, threw out half the pilot. There just wasn't, the characters all worked, but there was not enough story there to support it underneath. Came back and reshot half the pilot again, and then had something that we all believed in and wanted to go forward with.